Kira, you want to read this?
Sure. Ooh, are we talking about tables here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, are column headers required for empty data tables? When a user creates a folder or visits a new page with a table that has no data, they will see an empty state in the table. Do you think column headers are required? In the following four cases, each one shows a table with headers. Option A, I think is what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
And another without the headers, option B. Which one works better for you?
Say an example of Windows 11. You have,
Mhm.
Can you
headers
zoom in
down.
even more?
I had more than that. Uber, you have Uber
Oh,
here.
sorry, I can zoom into you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I zoom in more? Ooh. Let's see if I can just make them better. Yeah. That's
Okay.
one example. What else? We have this one. This Windows 11. So what do you think? There's no data here. And sometimes you do have columns and sometimes you don't. What do you think? Are they required?
We should do like a rapid fire. Yes, thumbs up, and no, thumbs down. And then we'll see what everybody thinks.
Let's do
Do
that.
it.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Oh,
For
wow! What a
sure,
consensus.
column headers.
Oh, why? Let's talk about the why.
For me, like especially in the file browser example, sometimes you just want to kind of just make sure that, let's say, size is even a part of that table. Like you just want to kind of refer to the metadata of the table. And then for the Uber, I don't know which use case this shows, but let's say you're about to, I don't know, list a new car. This kind of gives you a little bit of like what you're supposed to start working with. Like, oh, well, this is not exactly like a form, but let's say this was data I'm going to have to fill up. Like I have a bit of a preview of what's going to go in there. So for me, like it's a no-brainer with headers.
Especially for the Uber situation, I feel like that context makes such a huge difference. Otherwise, it's an illustration and then the idea of trips, and it's pretty vague. For folders, I can imagine sometimes, like we all know what a folder is and what's involved and stuff, so it's not really high stakes if it says like, oh, this folder's empty, there's nothing here. But when I see that Uber example, I'm like, this gives so much information.
Because it's rarely used? This is what you're saying?
It's new to me. It's different to me. Like this, and then I see like, okay, a trip. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Driver, request time. I see, oh, location. Actually, I don't know what amount is. Maybe that's the cost.
Okay.
So yeah.
And
let's use the example of a Finder in Mac. You're using a Mac. So you used to be Mac. Would you be open for Mac to remove all the headers now that you're used to it?
No, I really like headers. It's just if it's like super required, I can see if like that folder example, is it super duper required? For me, I'm like, it's like, a little bit more wiggle room. I wouldn't freak out if my headers weren't there. That's all.
Yeah, and I think too the purpose of an empty state is really interesting in this scenario, because the empty state, it doesn't, like, it needs to tell you something's not broken, and like it's not just like the page is lagging and the page is not working. It needs to tell you where you are, and like as you guys are saying, you get it from metadata. And the thing is, with a lot of tables, the title of the table is not going to tell you what the table is. The context of the table is going to tell you what the table is.
Got it. Interesting. Good.
Yeah. I would just add a thing for the Finder. I think just for consistency's sake, I would find it really weird if some of the views that are empty wouldn't have the headers, just because this is such a deep part of your OS. And even in enterprise apps, you get used to like customizing your views, and then you get used to the fact that every table you can edit the order of the headers and everything. And so if a table just happens to be empty, then you can't like prepare your view or like hide some columns or, you know.
Don't
For
touch
me,
my
it's just like
things.
keep it consistent. Just always show me the stuff, even if there is no stuff.
That was interesting, Pauline. Oh, good.
We're
Bravo.
aligned, team.
Well, line. So you're right. Okay, next.